Okay, boom, live.
Dang.
Not quite live. Episode 3 of the Breaking ROX podcast. This one's just going to be a bit of a conversation between myself and my co-host here, Jake. I think, given that we've launched this podcast, a bit of a who are the hosts and who are these two guys that you're listening to type deal in our journeys here at Bentech. And our journey's here to I mean, we talked about podcasting and stuff when we first started working together, right? Like what?
Yep.
How long has it been now? When did you join?
Three and a half years ago.
3.5 years ago?
Yep, we did.
So over half my tenure here at Bentech has been with yourself on the team. And we talked a lot about filming a podcast and doing more video, and I even look back at the start of my journey here at Bentech. And I think about a couple of weeks in was when I met Bruce, who's behind the camera, and we're still working together now, which is a really, really awesome thing to look back on.
6 years.
Yeah, nearly 6 years. I think the first time I engaged Bruce to come in and have a look at stuff, we were tiny compared to what we are now.
Yeah.
In terms of personnel, in terms of like scope of works for Bruce and for myself and the marketing team. And we just did a bit of like myself and Bruce he came in and kind of trained me how to do my own videos. And then we look where we are now, and this looks pro as,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think like I've gotten a lot better, and I'm still working on, as I always will be, that forever like white belt mentality.
Yeah.
Around getting better at doing this and getting better at video and doing more video. It's just been, looking back on it, it's been a crazy cool ride. And I think marketing is such a fun, it's such a fun job.
Yeah.
When you get to do the stuff we're getting to do.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's actually really funny because I actually remember my first day working at Bentech.
Yeah, so do I.
So I've come in, it's early in the morning, I'm nervous. This is my first job out of uni in marketing, and I've come into work, and Reese is like, okay, we've got some filming on today. Like we'll just, come give us a hand. Like you're probably not gonna have to get on camera or anything, so it's all good. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. So we've gone out. I don't know if you guys had a little setup out at a factory somewhere,
different
an office
facility.
setup. Yeah, different facility. Go out there, and we were just shooting some personal videos, weren't we? Just about
it was kind of like who is the Bentech team?
Yeah, who is the Bentech
thing.
team?
Yeah.
And I mean, that was looking back at that is just so funny. The setup we had there, it was still it was a cool setup and everything.
Yeah.
But then of course, you've done your couple of who is Bentech that you're supposed to do, and then it's like, oh, we've got Jake here. What would you just want to jump on?
Yeah, your turn.
My turn. So yeah, I've got on camera, and it was that was very funny. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that video surface in a while. I don't know if I'd want to.
It's just so long. It's just so long ago too. Hey, and I think like comparatively, like the quality of that compared to what we're doing now.
You see it it's hilarious.
Yeah, well, that's it. But it's important to not forget where you come from.
Of course, yeah.
Like that's all part of the learning process.
It
that
is.
kind of like trial by fire, grassroots stuff.
Yeah.
That kind of sparks what we're doing now. And I think having someone like Bruce, who's an absolute guru at this stuff, I mean, it just made. I think the production value of what we do is really, really high.
Yeah.
And I think that's like some of that legacy stuff that we look back on. We can look back on that fondly, but it's funny. In comparison to what we're doing now.
I also remember pretty early on as well into working here, and I remember. You'd just have the tripod set up without Bruce not there, and have the tripod set up, and it's like, all right, Jake, you just hold up a couple of cards, I've just got a couple of things that I need to say, and you just say it, and then it's like, okay, cut. Next piece. It's
almost like
that, and
almost like cartoonish. Like, you know what I mean?
Especially
when you look back on it.
Seeing the way that that you and that you've gone about the video here now.
It's
just like Bruce comes in, and of course Bruce's work has actually always been very good, and you come in and get mic'd up, and it's just there's no script. It's like just let let it happen. It's going to be fine. And then, you know, I try and put pressure on you sometimes and see if I could get a little, like, you know, second take
Just-
out of you. But
Yeah, just crack me a little bit.
yeah, but it's cool to see. And I mean, it's very enjoyable, and you know, just getting it back to where we are now, sitting down, you know, talking to each other about, you know, to having cool guests on, and you know, already episode 3, and I just know that we'll be sitting here in, you know, 6 months' time, however many episodes in, and just going like, wow, that time is just it's gone, and I'm sure we're going to be, you know, better at this by then, and it's cool, man.
Yeah, 100%. It's wicked. Like, retrospectively looking back, and even like you touched on that, like, okay, that first day, I had shades. I mean, I've kind of just done it to you right now with this podcast. Kind of like before we start shooting, it, like, okay, so like, what do you reckon? And I'm just like, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Like, I love dishing out the it's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine. Just let me. Let me roll it. Just don't worry about it. And
exactly,
you know, it is fun. It's good.
Yeah, I feel like, although sometimes it feels uncomfortable, like, it doesn't feel uncomfortable for me, but I think the most personable content comes across when you have no preconceived ideas around what it's going to be about.
Well,
like, we're coming in, we're live, like, we're not quite live. I mean, I'm saying live, but we're recording, and it's like, let's just roll with it.
Yeah. And I think that's carried as well through all the other kinds of content that we do as well. And that's something you definitely sort of taught me coming in here. You know, I could sometimes, as you are, you're really almost overthinking and overanalyzing your pieces of content if you're writing case studies or just, you know, just general posting on you know, on the socials. And also when we started doing videos, it was, you know, you kind of, it's very easy to get caught up in it, and I think that's one thing that you really carry through. It's like, just you know, be natural, like, be authentic, and it comes across, and you can see it across all of the content that we've really put out.
Yeah,
it's all I mean, that's just the way that it's followed. It all just flows through, and I feel like it gets the message across in a really good way, and just unscripted. And
I think from speaking from strategically, from a marketing point of view, consistency is always king. And I think it travels across all parts of your life. But I think from a marketing point of view, within reason, obviously, but being consistently good is better than being sometimes great with the content and with what you're putting out. I think having that regular cadence of quality content, that's what has the most impact. And I think that's the key strategically. And that's kind of like how I approach our strategy here at Bentech from a marketing point of view. You know, we don't just do one podcast and then never do it again. We don't just do like one Behind the Bee and never do it again. Like, you know, we're 30 episodes into Behind the Bee. We're 3 episodes into the podcast. It's that cadence that is the most powerful thing.
For sure.
And I think being restrained in terms of like your expectations around what you're putting out, again, within reason, and just focusing on getting it out there and getting the feedback from the market, from your customers, from whoever it is, and then using that and building that into the next one, you know?
Yeah. Agreed.
So that's why I love approaching things like I approach them. Obviously, there's levels of planning and stuff that goes on.
Yeah.
There's a huge amount of planning that goes. I mean, just pulling this together was, you know, it's not just like, I'm not just fumbling around.
No, there's thought.
I'm always thinking about this stuff. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We're always talking about it. You know, when we're out playing golf, you know, this is the kind of stuff which we're talking about a lot.
This is it. We like live and breathe this stuff, and I think that's, you know what I mean? That's another thing that's the difference, you know what I mean? Like, we genuinely love what we do. I love who I do it for, and I love who I do it with.
Definitely.
And I think, you know, that comes across, you know what I mean? That is very evident, I feel. And even someone like Bruce, who's not necessarily not employed by Bentech, but he's part of that journey too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And you can just tell by the way that the content comes across, like there's such high stakeholder engagement and buy-in, And then coming from the leadership here at Bentech, like they fully buy into us.
For sure.
So we're in a very, I mean, sometimes I think about this stuff, right? I think about like where my career's at, and if I speak selfishly for a second, where my career's at and things like that, that when you think about this stuff, and when you just lay it all out like I just did there, very fortunate position to be in, you know what I mean? To be in a role that I love, doing things that I love. Like I love sitting here doing this right now, you know? I always had, I mean, we're 3 episodes in, like this is an infant podcast, you know what I mean? Like I get that, but it's really, really fun. It's really empowering, and, you know, I can't wait to get back in here for the next one, you know?
No, that's
while
right.
we're filming this one, you know? What do you reckon?
Yeah, no, I agree. And that the way that you just described the way the way you feel here, and that's really funneled into our team, particularly in the marketing office for sure. And we have it's a nice time in there. It's awesome to be able to enjoy coming to work. We work hard, we get our work done. We also really enjoy each other's time. We have conversations about the real world. We open up to each other. We talk a lot about we talk to each other a lot about mental health, and I think that that's really helped us both in
100%
both work and personal life.
Yeah, man.
And
totally.
And I think, and again, that a lot of that does come from you, Reese, and that it's the whole facilitation where that's able to happen. We're able to we've been given a space where we can do that.
Yeah.
We spoke about it a little bit in our last episode with James, who was part of that, who was a part of our team for a little bit there, and I think, and he spoke about it too. It was, it's an area where we can really leverage our skills and focus on what we want to do personally, which we obviously know is going to really help the organization.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's really cool that we get to do it. And one thing I was just going to ask you before is how, like, you obviously were here a few years before me.
Yep.
How, when you first came here, like, how did you kind of have to work? Because first paint a little bit of a picture about when you first got to Bentech, because I know it was even, it was small when I got here a few years ago, but it was, there was another game back then as well.
Yeah.
And I guess let us know like how your role was facilitated and how you had to work at getting to the point where this is possible.
Where we are now. Yeah. No, that's a good question, man. So I came out of uni 2017, graduated mid 2017. I kind of went back as a bit more mature age student, early 20s, and was working and things like that. And then once I graduated, like I left my previous role, client management type role, because I wanted to be ready to start my career in marketing. Yep. That's what I've always loved and wanted to do. So yeah, I remember I had an interview with Jim towards the end of 2017, and I think the interview was on a Thursday, really leading up to Christmas. Like I'm talking like it was like mid-December.
Yeah.
And then Jim was like, "Hey, do you want to start Monday?" So 3 days later, and I was like, "Yeah, cool, straight out. Like let's do it." I was there for a week because then we broke for Christmas. But yeah, and then the journey there has been like marketing was very much in its infancy when I started, and looking back on it now, I wouldn't have it any other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I've been able to kind of build what we've built. Obviously, you've had a huge part in that now that you've been here for half my tenure, but it was grassroots stuff. When I started, obviously Sandra, who's not part of the team anymore, but you know what I mean, is always going to have a special place in our hearts here.
100%.
Sandra kind of was doing kind of the marketing thing. There was a website kind of finished off getting built when I started, and I think there was a couple of Google ads running or something. And then I worked closely with there was like a strategic marketing director at the time, Jeremy, was very much a mentor of mine early on. And we worked really closely together to kind of build a lot of the strategy and build a lot of the kind of frameworks for execution of all the things we do now. You know, we do full deck marketing right now. Like, and I think like a big thing for me was there was that obviously that learning period, but I learned quite quickly.
Yeah.
And given that I was I was 26 when I started here, and I'd had experience in businesses and stuff before, so that enabled me to learn quickly and pick up things quickly. And plus, I love it, you know. But then there was that period of kind of like marketing was an unknown quantity in terms of what it could provide for the business. I was always very much backed by Jim and Paul. But then I kind of had to prove myself a lot with the rest of the team, as anyone does, and prove marketing's worth, you know. And I think marketing sometimes can be put in the box of just making things look pretty and fluffy stuff, right?
Yep.
But I established metrics early on around, you know, how much revenue are we driving from this online activity?
Yeah.
Obviously, attribution for a lot of activity is hard, especially in B2B, because a buying cycle is not just a click funnel.
Yep.
You know. So, but establishing those metrics really early on, like we can look at the reporting now. I've got the reporting back from 2017. Right?
It's hilarious. Yeah.
You know, I've got all of that, but that's so we can see. You know what I mean? It's like there we were, here we are.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot of that, and then I had to kind of build those frameworks, build out the strategy again with a lot of help from Jeremy early on, and then I kind of took things on myself, built the team further, added you to the team, and there was a lot of that proving myself and proving ourselves component to it.
Yep.
And then we just kept adding from there, finding out what works, you know, what doesn't work, where to invest funds, ROI on that investment, and then scaling. And the biggest, I think the main thing that I've always been really good at is being, I'm a very disciplined person in my personal life.
You certainly are.
And I carry that across to my work.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're starting, you know, I remember it would have been Christmas, Christmas a year and a half ago, Christmas, when 2022 Christmas, I was just at home and I was like, we need to do a behind the scenes series. So then we'd come in, it's like, this is what we're doing, behind the scenes series. And
30 episodes later.
Yeah, 30 episodes later. And then it was like, again, I remember being in a strategy day with yourself and Andrew last year.
Yep.
Oh, that would have been 21 Christmas. But, 21 Christmas was behind the B, and then 22 end of the year was like, we need to do a podcast.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
And then it's kind of been planning through the
a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more had to go into the planning aspect of that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure.
This wasn't just here before.
Yeah, well, that's it. There's a lot that goes into this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think that having that passion for it is a big thing. And then having the buy-in from my team. I'm only as good as what my team believes that, you know what I mean? Like, when I am somewhat chaotic in my approach sometimes, I feel.
You can say that.
Yeah. That's probably a diplomatic way to put it.
Yeah. No.
But at the same time,
There's method to the madness.
There is method to the madness, exactly. And I think that I have that really good buy-in from management and the other leaders of the business, and then my team as well.
Yeah.
But
definitely
circling kind of back to what you touched on around how we operate together, I think the vulnerability we have amongst our team is a big reason why we can do what we do. When you think of marketing, it's so psychological, it's so personal.
Yeah.
You're trying to convey a brand and I think and get the people across. And I think like the levels to that we take it to, given that we are, well, let's not beat around the bush. Like me and you are mates now.
Yep.
As a result of working together.
Yep.
We play golf multiple times a week together. You know, we talk to each other about what we got going on in our personal lives.
Yep.
We understand what's happening with each other, and that's the key to it all.
Oh, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly right. Yeah, no, can't put it any other way.
So that's been a big part of the journey as well. Again, circling back to your question, building that and that leadership style, You know, we've got our office, we've got the Bentech culture is great, but we've got that culture in there that is like the marketing culture.
Yep.
It's not separate to the culture that is Bentech.
No.
But when the boots are on the ground, it's
Yep.
like, okay, we're working on a marketing project. It's like, right, like we need, you know, and like I said, sometimes I am chaotic.
Yep.
I'll stand up, grab something, and start waving it around. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Just getting the creative juices flowing.
That's right.
I think that's when a lot of my decisions are made when I stand up, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. There's all of a sudden just a stand up, and there's a little bit of a walk around the office, and then it's just like, I think we should start a podcast, or you know, I think we should do this, and yeah, I think it's oh man,
then the chairs turn, and it's
and we're just chatting.
Master of ceremonies.
Yeah. I think that the space, just as you said, you know, touching on that space that we're inside that office, that's what gets the creative juices flowing. That's what, and you need that in marketing.
Yeah, man.
Like it's not just, you know, you're not just writing up reports and what we really leverage is our ability to sort of brainstorm together, talk about things, understand what our clients are after and what's interesting to them, I guess, and then, you know, making sure that it's all part of the Bentech and the ROX brand, and pulling all of that together. And that you really, you know, there's a lot of thinking, there's a lot of talking, and we've got the environment here to be able to do it, and you know, everything we've just talked about, and you know, the personal relationship, the space we've been given, the, you know, from management, what we're able to, you know, the space we're given, all of it ties in together. And that's, you know, that's what leads us to you know, to where we are right here right now. And it's I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting for sure. And I think, like, well, I'd also like to know for you what your thoughts are from here. You know, like what about the future? What have we got, you know, sort of coming up as well? You know, a couple of maybe small projects or personal, and yeah, where are you going with that?
I think from here moving forward, I think brand is king for me for marketing. Brand awareness, brand equity. That's where a lot of my strategic think is lying at the moment. And that's the method behind the madness of what we're doing with video and what we're doing with this podcast. Like, I want to see this podcast get as many views and as many followers as we can. Like, I absolutely love doing this. I absolutely love doing video. I would like for us to have wide-reaching guests on here eventually, and same with video. Doing more videos, getting more of the team across on the videos. That's always the goal, you know. And I think looking at partnering as well with some, like, we've got the Elevate side of things as well. And that's another place where, you know, that's where my mind's at a little bit too, is like, how can we really leverage that from a philanthropic point of view?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where things are. Like, all my like, I get with so much work is done campaign wise, driving inquiry, driving revenue, you know, and, you know, revenue's increased, you know, 20x since I've been here from a digital marketing point of view. That's insane.
Yeah,
right.
It is. It's every year when we set the new target.
Yeah,
it always blows our mind. We're looking at it going,
that's just the baseline of marketing, though.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? We're driving inquiry. We're creating meaningful content. You know, our product offering is something the market wants and needs.
Oh, exactly.
And we deliver on that.
Yep.
With, you know, high performance solutions, whether it's parts, whether it's access platforms. whatever.
Oh yeah, some impressive.
We've got
impressive.
we've got some really impressive, skilled people in our
Oh, yeah.
manufacturing area.
Everywhere, every division.
Yeah, it's like, this is a powerhouse of a business, and we're really lucky to be in the marketing department to communicate that.
Exactly right.
And that's what the brand is, though. You know what I mean? That's who we are. So that's where things are at for me from a marketing point of view.
Yep.
Continuing to scale, as I touched on earlier, what works, and really leveraging this brand, launching ROX. We've got another brand we're going to be launching soon, which represents kind of the safety products, the safety and efficiency range. And then working on that C-Deck offering as well, and repackaging that to be something compelling.
Yeah.
They're probably the things that we're working on, aside from all the ins and outs, the city office and the Kalgoorlie stuff. Personally, I think the health and fitness journey has always been a big one for me. Running marathons and doing all that kind of thing. Hopefully run some ultras in the future, depending how my knee, since I've gotten past 30, footy injuries and stuff like that, I've started to hurt again.
Yeah.
But I don't let that get in the way.
No, you don't.
I don't let that get in the way. And my golf game as well. Like, I was a really, really avid golfer in high school. Played pennants for Melville Glades, and you know what I mean, was off low single-figure handicap. And getting back into golf now, which has been great because you're a golfer too, and you're a good golfer. That's been wicked for me. And one of my other good mates is a great golfer as well. So yeah, I would love to be a scratch golfer one day.
Yeah.
I didn't quite
Wouldn't
get there
that be
when I was a
nice?
junior, but I would love to get there one day. And then moving forward, having have a family and stuff like that the next 5 or so years. So we'll see how we go with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that answer your sort of question?
100%. And I can relate to a lot of that, to be honest. It's work, and covered the work side of things. I think obviously you're creating that. You're creating that from the top down, and we're working on that together, and so we've got very aligned views on that, and we work very hard on that together, and so that side of things, I think I'm also really really one also a cool thing we get to do here is the trade shows.
Yeah.
We've only recently had a trade show over at Amex at Sydney Showground called Amex, and that was really awesome. We get to play a major part in setting up the stand, and that's a really fun project for me particularly. I know you enjoy it too, but getting to do that is that's really cool. So I'm excited for the potential of more trade shows in the future and what that looks like.
Yeah, no, you've killed it on the last couple of those. Hey, like, I think.
Thank you.
Another thing I will add to the work side of things is probably one of the best things I've done, probably the best thing I've done since I've worked here is hiring you, and what you've brought to the team and the results we've produced together. That's what my favorite part of working here is, and seeing you grow and carving off the ROX brand and the mining parts divisions and giving it to you, and then I love giving that autonomy to people. I think a big thing for me has always been like when I go to bed at night, I want my head to hit the pillow and I want to feel like I've done something. I want to feel like it's what I do for my career is meaningful. And there's been times in my career where I haven't had that. I do have that here, and knowing what it kind of feels like to not. Like everyone wants, I think finding meaning sits above, like, feeling happiness and sadness and things like that are often fleeting. You know what I mean? Finding meaning and purpose and stuff like that, that's what's really important. Yeah. So 100%. being able to facilitate that for hopefully I do facilitate that for my team and continue to do that. That's probably the overarching thing. Yeah. Because then, like, the results are a given after that. If you've got people that are bought in, finding what they do meaningful and fulfilling, like, that is the recipe to success, I think.
Could not agree more. I appreciate that, and I appreciate what you've, the environment you've created for me here. It's scary coming in, fresh out of uni and into an already established business, and what I've learnt from you in particular, like you've really been a mentor for me, and from what I've learnt here compared to what I learnt at a university, it's a crazy, marketing is a really deep field, which I was not really aware of, especially B2B, marketing. It's just, there's so much to it. And we've obviously spoken about a lot of what goes into that today, but yeah, I mean, it's changed my life. I've been here for 3.5 years now, and I just can't see myself going anywhere. I'm absolutely, love it here.
Yep.
Love working with you. Love how we've become great mates, and we get to do something like this now, which is really cool. Just keep doing new things. Get to talk about it all. And
it's cool, man.
No, I agree. It's and I definitely agree with that, having that, really finding that sort of purpose, and being able to go home and go, feeling that fulfillment is huge. Yeah. And we do get that. Yeah. We get that here.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know. That's it. That, like I said, like it's good to know that that you've got that, because that's so important for your general well-being.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Do you know what I mean?
We're here a
really
long time.
We spend a lot of time here, and then a lot of time outside of it thinking about being here.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to be mindful and present in your personal life, that whole work-life balance thing, when you've got you can put a tick in the box next to job. Yeah. In terms of how it makes you feel and what you get out of it, right?
Yeah.
And obviously we've added Jack to the team now. We'll get him on an episode soon.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be cool.
He's fantastic at what he does, and kind of taking things to another level from a visual media point of view.
Definitely,
yeah. It's I can't, like, the next 5 years it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be crazy, and we're gonna keep pushing the limits. We're gonna keep doing all the things that our competitors aren't.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and keep pushing. Keep setting the standard for everyone to chase. I think that's what I love too.
Yeah,
we've both got that. We've both got that mindset personally. And it carries across into our work, and again, where we're empowered and enabled to do so. And it's a cool. It's really we're very lucky.
Yeah, I guess another thing as well with the podcasting is I really hope that we start getting some listeners who are on and who are listening to every episode, and we can really get some the feedback from what we're putting out.
Ask some questions as well.
Ask some questions. We run this, so it's where we're going to be seeing any kind of comment that anyone has out there, and we'll be happy to discuss it, and and listen to you and see what else you'd be interested on here, I think that's what this platform is. It's cool to be able to achieve that. Hopefully we do get to.
Yeah, well, that's it. We're at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah,
but I think if we're going to be able to make it happen if we like the results we produce so far and all the other facets of our lives are anything to go by. This will be successful, and it'll take time, but we're here to do it. And again, it's meaningful. Yeah. It's fulfilling to do this. Like, I love it.
Yeah, it's good fun.
I love it. Well, I think that's a good way to wrap up and finish off this episode. I think we touched on some. I think this is I think we got a lot across of who we are as people. You know what I mean? And we'll continue to build on that as time goes on. Is there anything final you wanted to add before we sign off?
No, I reckon we'll probably. This wasn't entirely planned to do this. Just you and I today. We'd hope to try and get as many guests on as possible. But I know that there's going to be times where where it's just going to be us two again, and we'll be able to
chat.
Yeah, have a little chat, speak about what's going on. Hopefully, have a little bit more.
Hopefully, have some better golf scores to talk about.
I know. Yeah, we didn't talk about our couple shots.
Maybe we can squeeze that in.
Just quickly squeeze that in. That was pretty cool.
About a week and a half ago, Jake probably hit the second best shot I've ever seen.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I'll take that.
Seeing as I have had a hole in one.
Yes, yeah.
Pretty much exactly a year ago now. But the shot that you hit from the bushes for eagle was unreal.
Low 4-iron between a couple trees.
Under a couple of trees too.
And under the trees.
Yeah, from a bit of a devastating lie.
A couple of guys still on the green who I thought weren't on the green, and they got to, they just got to watch it.
They were blessed with the shot.
A random ball dropping in the hole.
Yeah, and that's the thing that makes it good too. It didn't cannon into the stick.
Yeah.
It dropped in. And because I watched it drop in, I had that feeling like, I remember saying to you, like, if anyone's played like Tiger Woods, EA Sports Tiger Woods, when it's getting close, boom, boom.
Yeah,
boom,
you've got
boom,
it.
Boom. That's how it kind of felt for me, watching that go in. But great to witness that.
Yep.
Great to witness that.
No, that was good. And then only what? A couple of days ago.
Yeah.
A couple of days ago.
Yeah, hold out from about 120.
That's just, we're getting there, man.
We are. We're gonna. I'm looking forward to playing some 2-ball scramble though. I think we can go low if we do that.
Yep.
And build some confidence from there.
I think so. Hopefully we might be able to get just a couple clips.
Yeah.
Potentially, we'll see how we go.
Might have to get Bruce out in some personal time to film some golf videos and some golf content.
I think that could be good.
All right.
That's it.
Thanks, Marin.
Thanks, Reese.
Thanks, everybody. Wrapping up episode number 3. Bit of an insight into who myself and Jake are as people, and I think you guys can see that we're great friends, and we work really well together, and that's why I think what we do is as good as it is, and why we have so much fun doing it.
Yep.
So look, thanks again.
Like, subscribe.
Exactly.
That's it.
And share it around to everyone in the industry and all that. It would really mean a lot to both of us. So,
Sure.
thanks, guys. See you on the next episode.
Cheers.